It didn't work right. They're like cut off at the end. What's up with that? Anywho, it messed up my whole flow, man. I'm just lost now. Well, welcome once again to the Whole Damn Enchilada podcast. Rick Paulton, Ryan Inman. Intro video messed up. We have 3 guests tonight. The directors for the Once and Future Smash and the star of the Once and Future Smash. One of them's in the green room right now. And how's it going, man?
It's been a long week, man.
You look like shit.
Yeah.
Like absolute shit.
Well, I look like I feel. I was given this beautiful gift, and it was last week. I was in studio with you when I headed to crash at my girl's house that night. And in the middle of the night, I got up to go pee. I fainted and fell right on the basement floor and passed out.
Jeez.
And I've been sick ever since, and I was gifted the beautiful gift of RSV that's going around the nation right now.
Right on.
So that's why I sound like a loan shark from an A24 movie.
Well, all of our guests are now in the waiting room, and this will be, I think, the first time we've ever tried to do 3 guests at once, isn't it? Last week we had 3 guests here at once.
Man, you're making me think too hard for being this sick.
Don't worry about it. I think it is though. So we're gonna give this a go, but I'm gonna play a little video and then I'm gonna get these guys on. We're gonna do that, and then we're gonna do this, and then hopefully I don't screw this up. I'm already screwing it up. Yeah. Back over here.
In 1970, at the height of the football revenge film craze, Mikey Smash and William Mouth both portrayed the football cannibal Smash Mouth in the cult hit End Zone 2. The film's influence on a small number of horror legends was immeasurable. Some even say it was Andy Warhol's favorite movie. After a portion of the film was lost and the ownership rights were called into question, End Zone 2 simply disappeared. Now, 50 years later, Smash Blender Films is reviving the franchise.
We're doing a reboot sequel of the movie End Zone 2, and it's gonna be called End Zone.
With the pending casting announcement at Mad Monster Party, rivals Mikey and William will each do anything to reclaim their iconic role. They are joined by their reluctant assistant, AJ.
Pick up that bag. I don't want those wheels to wear out.
Mikey, William, and AJ must battle clowns, law enforcement, and holographic technology to find out who will be crowned the once and future Smash.
Alrighty, that is the trailer for the Once and Future Smash, and it's still playing. Christ. That's supposed to be playing. Stop. There we go. Modern technology. So we have. What's up? Were you going to say something?
Oh, I was still wondering where that producer we were going to hire is.
Oh yeah, that needs to happen sometime. All right, but we have. Well,
Sophia's here.
We have Michael Epstein and Sophia Cacciolla.
She stole my idea. Look at that.
Yeah, you did say you were going to bring one of the.
I was going to bring the puppy down here.
And we have Bill Weeden. How's it going?
Hey,
Touchdown!
Touchdown! All right. So we first heard about this movie because we had John Dugan on originally, right?
Yeah.
And we're going through all of his credits, and the Once and Future Smash comes up. And I'm asking him about it. He doesn't remember doing it.
No.
Then I have I talked to Adam Marcus about it. He did it. And Melanie Kinnaman and
I swear, like half the people in your film have been on our show.
I'm like dying to watch this movie.
So I'm like, how have we not seen this thing?
hopefully the rest of them remember it, except for John.
Well, yeah.
Well, Melanie definitely did.
Yeah,
Melanie did, and Adam.
I'm sure
Marcus
Adam did. I'm sure.
Yeah,
Adam Marcus definitely did. So and John probably does too. He just probably at the time didn't know what I was talking about.
It's all good.
He was like, I don't remember shooting anything, but if I would have knew about the movie, and I would have been able to say it was at a convention, he would have probably knew what it was.
Yeah, he probably
he was in the process of babysitting Alan a little that night too, though. Because we had Alan Danziger on with him, and he was having so much technical trouble.
Oh yeah. That's why whenever I have somebody on, I always tell them, like, when they can't figure out the StreamYard thing, I said, dude, we had John Dugan and Alan Danziger on. They're like 80. If they can figure it out, you can figure it out.
Yeah.
But so we really trying to see the movie, and then I seen a post that it was finally on YouTube, and I immediately watched it then, and I love it. I think it's one of the coolest things I ever seen. And Patricia, we got people in the comments here. Patricia says, "Hi, Bill. Loved you in Psycho Ape 1 and 2. I really wanted to get to those this week, but I didn't have time to. But I always, whenever I have guests on, I try to watch as much of their stuff as I can, and I didn't get to those. But I did see a couple of your other films. I seen Clickbait, and then I just finished watching the vampire movie.
Oh, cool.
Nice. Yeah, Blood of the Tribbles. Yeah.
Yep.
All of those were great.
Oh, thank
For
you.
their own reason. Like, all three movies I've seen of yours are like they're so different. It's awesome. I love it. JP Cross said Psycho Ape is great because of course he did. I can tell that's the kind of movie JP Cross is in.
I'm sure JP's seen everything that everybody's been in.
Well, he likes like trauma films and stuff like that. And I kind of think I haven't seen Psycho Ape, but I think it's probably along those lines because
Mike and I have a cameo in Psycho Ape too.
Oh, cool! Oh yeah.
So it's all interconnected.
We're all fans of Psycho Ape.
Yeah.
We're all from Psycho Ape too.
Right on. Let's see. We got Gina in the house. Gina says hi, Rick. St. John's, Michigan, Jason. Zigzag from Death Curse Society. All kinds of people. All right. So first of all, I want to thank you guys for taking the time to come on. Also, I want to thank you for that Blu-ray. I got to check that out, and then I watched In Zone 2, the actual In Zone 2 movie, and then a lot of the special features and stuff that the director, not the director's commentary, but the actor's commentary on Once and Future Smash with Bill and Mikey. That was comedy gold, man. I didn't get a chance to watch the other commentary, but that was just awesome.
Yeah, that's probably the more fun one.
Yeah, it was so fun. These guys were just great. They were like still in character, it seemed.
Yeah. They're always
during the commentary.
Bill, are you guys ever out of character together, the two of you?
I think from what I hear from Michael and Sophia, they sort of created the character around my personality, so it's sort of me, I think. And Michael
exaggerated, of course, and not, I mean, the characters.
The volume turned up like wrestling.
Yeah.
Yep.
And aspects, focused on to differentiate the two and such. So it's not, anything negative about them is not necessarily true in real life. I don't want to say that, but
they took the sort of exaggerated character defects from our personalities and made them into characters. It was really, what they did was great, I think. By the way, have you seen my T-shirt? Take a look.
Nice.
I'll stand up so you can see it.
I was gonna say my things.
Nice.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
One of my favorites.
Yeah, it's good stuff. So I watched the movie with my daughter, who's 12.
Uh-huh.
The Once and Future Smash, and I remember seeing it when it was on YouTube, and then then I watched it on the Blu-ray you sent me. I don't remember the scene in the hotel with Bill, but
You thought you were safe. Yeah.
yeah. So my daughter sees the scene, and I'm like, I think you helped me out with that though, because I don't think she's gonna want to look at men for some time.
Good.
I think you paused adolescence for like several years.
Good.
The YouTube version hides my shortcomings, I think. And then
Okay, yeah. See, because I do remember I
Yeah.
seen it on YouTube first, and then
It's censored on YouTube.
because a lot of streaming sites like it's sort of limited what you can do with
And what you can monetize.
nudity and everything. So there's a censored version that has a little it's kind of the Andy Warhol Smash Mouth face that appears over the offensive parts of that. But the Blu-ray and the version streaming on like Vimeo,
it's natural glory.
Uncensored. We always tell people if you want to see the real deal, you got to get the Blu-ray. That's
absolutely.
Yeah, it's really important.
I think so.
Critical scene to the film.
I think so.
So let's get some questions here. So you got was this film inspired with the idea with the two actors? Was that inspired by Friday the 13th Part 2? Because that's what me and Ryan thought of.
Yeah, it's inspired by like, I mean that's one of the things.
Like the basic premise of the two actors.
It's inspired by many different people. That is one. What ended up happening is Neil Jones, the other fellow who produced the film with us, he does a podcast, and he had a bunch of guests on, and he had somebody who played Leatherface.
We've had that somebody.
and somebody else
in the movie,
and somebody else who played Leatherface, and they were mad about the other one being on and so on. And so he started telling me about that. I'm like, oh, I had already been thinking about this idea because of like Friday the 13th, and I'd heard stories about Linda Blair and others. I'm getting some feedback here. We got earbuds in. Yeah. Anyway.
Do you have headphones in, Bill?
Do I know whom?
Do you have headphones in?
Oh, do I have headphones? No, I don't know.
Because sometimes, and ironically, the guy you're talking about, when he was on, that was happening because he didn't have headphones.
Yeah.
Are you not hearing me correctly?
We're getting feedback on us. But anyway, so those talking with Neil, I said, I'd love to do a movie with a story like that, because it's such a fascinating thing to be like, have this rivalry instead of both being able to celebrate. If I were in that position, I'd just be like, cool, we both did this thing or whatever. Mm-hmm. And that kind of led us down the path of doing this. Yeah. So
the real life story, there was some real bitterness from Steve Dash. I remember that, like, the real Jason. I remember everything
like that.
We definitely borrowed from some of those things. That was like our ideas.
And of course with Bob Elmore and Bill Johnson, kind of a similar thing too.
Yeah, I didn't want to say the names, but those are the guys.
He was on this show and he talked about
fine.
it. So
it's totally fine. But yeah, so those two guys who are both in our movie. That was what Neil had them on his show, and there was some discussion about that. And I'm like, oh, it's so funny. And they're both. I don't really know Bill, but Bob was super nice when we worked with him, and and I from what I've heard, Bill is really nice too. So I don't have any. I'm happy with both of them.
I think they've since buried the hatchet too, because they're on a lot of shows together.
Yeah.
Good.
Oh, good. Yeah, I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah, that ended better than the Warrington and.
Yeah,
well, they eventually made up too, and
they did, but they very rarely appeared together.
Right,
less than you would think.
Well, I think only one time, and
I think it was twice.
What's her name? That does all the Friday the 13th stuff. She has a picture.
Stacy.
It's in this book right here by R.G.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I do have that book. Yes.
Right on. Charles Sherrod says, Ryan, blink if you were in danger. He says, you look like you're being held for ransom in a cabin.
I'm just sick, man. I got RSV, dude. So.
But he's a trooper and he still made it.
Yeah, I'm still sitting in my bed. That's how far I made it.
So out of all the cameos that you got for this film, which one was your guys' favorite?
Can't pick favorite.
Well, picking favorites is okay. Picking least favorites is not okay.
There you go.
That's the next question.
Yeah, they were all really great. I will say I'll tell one story. The first horror movie that I saw, like scary, because I watched a lot of like Universal monster movies and old kind of like B movies as a kid. But the first like movie, I was scared of like real horror movies. And the first real horror movie that I saw as a kid, I was at a birthday party, and they decided we were going to watch Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2. This is like around the time it came out. And I was terrified to watch it. Like I really didn't want to. And I was kind of like sitting in the corner and like not really, looking. And by the end of the movie, I just kind of like, I was like, oh, that wasn't so bad. And I kind of enjoyed that experience. And it kind of led me down a path of being more interested in horror and being more open to it. And obviously now I just, I watch everything. But so having Mark Patton, getting the opportunity to meet Mark Patton in person and to, spend some time with him. We actually, he agreed to do it. He was coming to town because he doesn't live in LA. He was coming to town briefly to do a screening of his film, Scream Queen.
Yeah.
Have you seen that? Which is
fantastic.
Great. Yeah. So good. So he was in town for that. And Neil had reached out to him because Neil knew him. And he's like, well, I'll tell you what, if they pick me up at the airport, then I'll do it. And so we're like,
done.
Hell yeah. So, which was great because not only do we get to do the thing, because a lot of the people they came in for half an hour. We didn't really get to spend time with them. Mm-hmm. But Mark, we got to hang out with on the airport ride. And then he came the next day. We spent we went to lunch with him. We spent quite a long time with him and I got to hang out with him. And that was really special. So I'll
I think Victor Miller was a surprising get as well, and he actually went to college with Bill.
That was my next question. Look, I was going to talk to him about that.
So it's pretty cool. And he lives in San Francisco, so I had to fly up, and I did it by myself, which was interesting for me, not knowing what I was walking into necessarily. But he was so gracious and so fun. And I think he's not as active, I think, in some of the convention stuff, and people don't hear from him as often. So I think people were surprised at his sense of humor and the stuff he was willing to say for the.
That was the first thing I've ever seen with him.
Yeah, he was great. Yeah,
he was good.
Yeah,
Mark Patton will be doing a thing in Cleveland soon, so I'm hoping to get him on. I'm sorry, Bill, go ahead.
We're in the same class at college, Victor and me, and there's a little Easter egg in the movie. If you listen closely, he says, "This guy keeps telling me." He knows me from college. I never met this guy before.
Talking about Mikey or
Victor Miller.
Yeah.
William.
Yeah, Victor Miller was talking about your character, though.
Yeah. Right. My character, not me, but my character. So that's a little,
little inside joke.
Yeah, we've been since we started this show. We've been pretty upfront, vocal about how we're Team Victor Miller people on this show. So
we with him in the rights issue.
Any of the sequels, he says, right?
What's that?
He's never seen any of the sequels, right? That's what
I doubt it. Yeah, probably not.
As long as he sees residual checks from him, he doesn't care.
They changed his premise. That he had the mother was the killer, but they changed it to Jason was the killer. So that's he doesn't like it.
Yeah.
I don't believe.
Which we used as a joke. Obviously, we used that as a joke.
That was awesome too. Yeah.
Yeah, he was great. He says the line about it. He said, "I think it's great that End Zone 2." I took it from End Zone 2 because they had the mother is the killer and blah blah blah. Whatever.
That's true too. Now that I think about it, I don't really remember him doing much anything other than the Friday the 13th documentary.
Oh
yeah. He's been kind of quiet.
Yeah.
He does cons sometimes though, because I have seen a ton of autographs on big Friday pieces, but yeah, I'd love to meet him too.
Yeah.
Was there anybody that turned you down for a part in the thing? If you want to talk
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
for sure. I mean, there were a few that just didn't work out as well, like timing wise and location wise.
I mean, we reached out, we made a list. So again, Neil, our producer, because he does a podcast, he's connected with a lot of these people. So he was that was more like his job is identifying those people and working that out. So we made a list, kind of like a wish list of who we thought reasonably might do the movie.
And we were trying to hit like every major franchise too.
Yeah,
so
we wanted to cover
it. We wanted Halloween, we wanted Nightmare, we wanted Texas.
Which we didn't get any Halloween, but that's okay.
I mean,
so we reached out to we kind of ranked those people and we reached out to them. And some of them said no, some of them said, that's just not the kind of thing that I want to do. But surprisingly, so many of them said yes. And we were very grateful that they did and they were willing to do it, and that they really got the joke, because that was
they were really
kind of a fear where you were like trying to explain the premise of this thing is also kind of complicated.
And they're like praising a movie that like they haven't seen.
Yeah,
right.
Like trying to make it seem like they know, they have seen it.
And sometimes kind of not making fun of themselves, but making jokes, not like in a mean way, but making jokes about and they got it. They totally all got it, and they were totally fine with it, and they had fun with, as far as I know, they all had fun doing it, and it was really great. So we're really happy with who we got. Like we did ask some people, and they said no, but it wasn't like there was anybody that we felt like, oh, the movie we really wanted this person and we didn't get them.
I will say the hologram of James Dean was a backup
Yeah.
story, because we really wanted to get Matthew Lillard to
Yes.
be that character, because he was at the convention we filmed at, and so we had reached out to his management and they're like, no, he was not interested.
If you had been able to talk to him, I bet he might have thought about it.
Maybe, yeah. We definitely didn't get it to him. Yeah.
No, I don't think I think they glanced at it and they're like, who are these yahoos? And
Right. But I'm saying, if you would have been able to actually put it in front of him, and he was there and he was there.
Yeah.
And we were like, we need him for like a half an hour. That's it. Because we wanted him to come to the panel.
Yeah. Yeah. The hologram was like the original joke, but we're like, it would be fun to get like a person who's somebody like that. I don't know why Matthew.
I love Matthew.
Yeah, no, he's great. He's great.
Yeah.
So I think I was like, let's get Matthew. He's there. Let's get him. But it didn't work.
So the hologram was just like a placeholder that ended up sticking.
Yeah. And then it's like the whole kind of last third of the movie, because of COVID and stuff, ended up changing quite a bit. And so like the AI and the hologram became a much bigger part of the story.
It was kind of all there, but
it was there, but like there were just some stuff that we didn't get to shoot for the ending that we had wanted to, because it would have involved more people. And we shot the convention stuff like in February of 2020. So it was like the minute we had like a third of the movie, we were shut down for like 2 years.
Right on. And so a lot of the movie is shot at a convention. And Bill, you have a table at the convention with Michael. And I was wondering if people actually came up to the table and tried to buy pictures and signatures from you guys.
Well, they came up to the table and they thought it was for real. I'm not sure they really wanted to buy pictures. I don't know about that, but we had a lot of fun pretending it was real. And
we kind of chased them away. We kind of chased them away a little bit, but they did.
They
were
try to go up and talk to
I figured, because I know you were in that trauma film that and a lot of those guys might have recognized you and wanted to come up and get a picture.
Yeah. I went to a convention, a thing called Dragon Con once in Atlanta, and I went about some other film, some short film that I had made, and I just went for the day. But like the number of people who came up to me and wanted their picture taken with me because of Sergeant Kabuki Man NYPD, which is the one movie that I was the villain in. The number of people that are crazy about that film is like amazing. So I know that there's but I look a lot different now from the way I did in that movie. So probably not everybody recognized me, but and it was time ago. That movie was made a long time ago.
Right on. Yeah, no, it's crazy. What else we got here? So the actual Smash Mouth mask, is there any way to purchase one of those? I think it's pretty sweet. I collect.
We
masks.
talked about it.
I
So
just
it was it was made by Joe Castro, who does a lot of special effects and a lot of indie horror movies, and he did an awesome job. And he was really pushing us to do like an '80s Halloween plastic mask because he's like, I still have the form, we can do it. And it just like I don't know that the demand is there to reach like a quota where it would be like reasonable to do.
Yeah.
So
It was an idea at one
Well,
point.
we talked about doing like a vacuform version of
Yeah,
it,
that's
but
the-
then you'd have to like figure out how to
paint
paint it or something. So a kind of like a Halloween costume version of it, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, as you said, if he still has the form, I wonder if I could reach out to him and get him to just make a blank for me. I'll paint it.
I mean,
I
yeah,
know mask guys that can paint it.
yeah. Go for it. I mean, I think we're fine with that if he's willing to do it. I have no problem with it. So yeah, reach out to Joe and yeah, I don't know what he'll say, but
Yeah.
but
Worth
you
a
can.
shot.
Yeah, you can tell him we said that's fine, and he'll probably confirm with us. But yeah, that's fine.
Right on. See, Tiki from Talking Tapes, he says one of the best films ever. He's referring to the Trauma film. And Sergeant Kabuki Man, and JP, of course, says it. He loves it. So yeah, those guys are really into that kind of all horror.
Rick's biggest tease ever too was in your film, because there was
What's
our pal VC was holding his screen used head.
Oh yeah, VC
So that's
is really
Rick's
good.
dream is to own a head from
He
any horror
auctioned
movie.
it off.
He
Like,
sold it. I
Really?
think.
Yeah, like
I
last
didn't
year,
hear
we're
that.
like,
I
dude,
probably
let's
wouldn't have been
go.
able to afford
Yeah,
it.
it was a lot. It
It
was
like
sold for a good amount.
$5,000 or something, maybe more.
He
I don't know.
opens the movie, right? Doesn't he open the movie?
He does. I
think
think
he
he is the
does,
first person in
yeah.
the movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was really good in it. Adam Marcus was really good in it, and the writer Todd Farmer, is that his name?
Yeah.
The writer from Jason X.
Yeah.
Those were some of my favorites.
Yeah.
I liked everybody, but
They
those
all
were pretty
inserted their own personalities into it. You know, like the way we wrote lines for everybody, like kind of based on, their work and stuff. And then like those three guys especially really kind of ad-libbed from there.
I'm sure
Especially Adam Marcus ad-libbed a ton.
Especially
That's
Adam.
what I was gonna say.
Adam
I
was
didn't need to
very
give
funny.
him much direction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He definitely enhanced. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody really did, but yeah, he definitely. He would kind of like he would be like, oh, is it okay if I add that? We're like, do anything you like. Totally.
The stage is yours.
It's all you. I mean, we're just giving you what we kind of the general idea, and then anything you like. And he did all kinds of stuff that we loved, including in the movie, including the mention that Jason is a Deadite.
He loves talking about that because it gets all the Friday fans in an uproar.
I know.
Yeah.
Ryan hates that. I don't so much because
Yeah.
I think there was so much with the Friday the 13th series that didn't make sense, and he was just trying to help it make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not as mad at him as Ryan is.
I have no opinion either way, but I thought it was funny. So
Oh man. And
Couldn't be a bigger fan of Adam Marcus the person. That's all I'll say.
I'm
But
not a fan of his work.
fuck that movie.
yeah. I do like the movie. I do.
I do too. I do too. I like it a lot more better than Ryan does. That's for sure.
I was getting better. Now my illness is hitting me again. Thanks.
They're logging off.
So
Got my Gatorade now. Thank you.
in the actual End Zone movie, does Michael or William, do either one of you actually play Smash Mouth in the movie?
I want to lie, but no.
I was like, I wonder what he'll say.
That was his Warrington Gillette moment right there.
We could give a spoiler that most of the time it's Michael. This Michael.
And you know what? I seen after I wrote that question, I watched the making of the movie, and I kind of figured that out. But since I had the question on there,
we did purposely. So Tyler Sage, who was a kind of our key grip on the movie, he helped a lot behind the scenes on filming End Zone 2.
Mhm.
At near the end of filming, I was like, we have to have somebody else play Smash Mouth as well, so that it mirrors the story of the two different
Tyler's
people
a little
playing
bit
it.
taller and a little.
No, he's not.
The
He's
body
not
type
really
for Smash Mouth looked pretty close to Bill, so that's why I thought he might have been in the suit at first.
No, did I just hear that right?
I thought so. I mean, it might have been just the way that the shoulder pads and stuff, because I mean, obviously you two look completely
Body,
different.
not the mask, right?
How could you tell how different they were as Smash Mouth pants were on?
It's
Yeah,
very,
right.
it's very interesting because St. Michael's and I are very different physically. He's way taller than I am. So
Right, and that's why I thought it might be you.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like in Plan 9 from Outer Space, where Bela Lugosi is replaced by it's like a 3 feet taller than he is. We could have done that actually, but
Yeah.
because they do make it very clear in the doc that that Michael was fired. It's not me, you know.
Yeah, we thought about how far to take it. Like, do we take it to the point where it's like you really? Well, I guess in the premise of the movie, all the parts that Bill played Smash Mouth in are lost anyway, so you don't really see them in.
They're lost. It's a spoiler alert. We don't know why they.
Yeah.
It's revealed in the movie.
Yeah.
Were any of the cameos cut from the film? Like, did you record anything with anybody that you didn't use?
No people were cut. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody had more lines.
Yeah, I know.
were
You
cut, of
you'll
course.
pick
Yeah.
out what you. Okay.
Yeah. So we've talked about doing an extended like extra interview bits at some point. We did not finish that in time for the Blu-ray, and maybe someday down the road we'll do like outtakes and other stuff. But yeah, nobody would no person was cut.
Right on. And yeah, I was talking about the commentary with the actors with William and Michael and AJ, and AJ giving the reasons why he lost his leg. I thought that was pretty funny. So he really is missing his leg.
Yeah, we met AJ working crew on a different movie, and I didn't know for like a week he was missing a leg.
Well, he gets around so well, you know.
Yeah, I mean, he's great. He's a very athletic guy. And so then once we found that out, we became pretty good friends with him. We're like, can we blow up your leg in a movie? And he was like, yeah, sure, whatever you want to do. And so it turned into being chopped off. But yeah, so it was definitely an inspiration. You know, we're indie filmmakers. We find out you've got something, we'll make it work.
Yeah. Well, we definitely wrote. I mean, we wrote the whole movie around AJ not having a leg, basically.
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge plot point of both movies.
I cannot get over the fact we shot all of our scenes in one weekend at the Mad Monster Party, okay, at that festival.
Mm-hmm.
And I worked with AJ all weekend. And AJ is mixed race and has one leg. And I didn't guess either of those facts until way later. I went through the whole weekend with him thinking he had two legs and thinking he was white, actually.
She thought he had a great tan.
It was the winter, I guess. He was a little pale.
It was so
I'm gonna update that prescription.
so he is so just himself that you don't accept any of that stuff as you don't even think about it.
He was so good in that film that I was convinced for a little bit that a different actor played his father. Like when he was in the movie, like it seemed like two different people. He was really good at separating those roles.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed
Well,
it.
we made him have an afro for the 70s. He was kind of mad about it. But
No,
I was
he
like,
wasn't.
no, you gotta do it.
It's 1970 though. It makes
Yeah.
sense. Yeah.
So, and he's like, that character is obviously so different from his character in the Once and Future Smash, his character in Zone 2. So it worked, I think. And we actually we made him call his mom to get an actual baby photo of him for the Once and Future Smash. So that's his actual baby
When
photo.
he still had a leg in the baby photo.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah. So that's probably how you can't recognize him.
AJ really did not have a lot of acting experience. We met him on crew. He was a second AC or something with you. And so we just loved him so much. He's such a lovable person and so charismatic and so funny that I was like, I'm thinking like as we're building this thing out, I'm like, AJ, would you be interested in doing this thing? And he's like, sure. And I don't think he realized at that point that it's like, oh, like basically like lead roles and big roles in 2 movies. But even though he didn't have a lot of acting experience, we were just like, we believe that we can work with him. We'll be able to like figure out how to get this out of him. And I was like, we may need to do some extra directing or do some extra takes or something. But you know what? We didn't at all. He's a total natural. He's
a just complete natural. He's
really, really brilliant. Yeah.
He was great.
And honestly, one of the nicest people I've ever met in my life. He's just like an incredible guy. Great.
Now, in the film, he does a costume contest dressed as Smash, and nobody knows who it is because at that time the movie's not out, so nobody would really know. And like I heard that was like for real, like just thrown up there, and just
we did.
Nobody was prepped beforehand. So I was wondering, did he ever try to enter a costume contest after the film came out?
He should.
Like, so people actually know what this is, because it could be cool.
Yeah, well, we knew the host of the costume contest was James Balsamo, another indie filmmaker, and so we were like, we found out about it. We didn't know it was happening, but we're like, oh, we have the costume with us. Let's enter Asian. And so, it's really one of the only big improv scenes of the convention because everything was scripted. So we're like, just go to this costume contest. We talked to James ahead of time. We're like, just, make sure he loses. That's it. We didn't give much direction on that. And then it just got so real and like kind of offensive and weird. And then the whole audience felt like didn't know it was a bit, and so they were going up to AJ and giving him hugs afterwards.
And I heard they gave the host a hard time.
Yeah, James was really mad at us. He was really mad at us for a while because we just left, and so he couldn't defend himself.
I'm watching.
They're like, you're so mean.
I'm watching this thing and I know it's a movie and I'm still feeling bad for the guy. Like, what a loser! Like,
yeah, everybody was like, "Why are you bullying that guy?" Like they were really because
he's doing his best.
This is hard.
We probably should have announced at some point that it there were signs up that we were filming, I guess, but we probably should have announced at some point that it was not like a real entry into the costume.
But the rest of the costume contest was real, it was really happening.
It was a real costume contest.
It was a little chaotic, but that was one of the more chaotic things we did there.
But we didn't know he was going to bring him up again as the biggest loser.
And we hadn't even invited Bill.
Yeah.
We were just like, oh, we're just gonna go do this thing, like St. Michael's and Bill, just take a break, hang out. And Bill was just bored, and so he came, and then it became such a big character arc for the two of them when they had this big hug after the costume contest. So it was just it was kismet.
It worked out, yeah.
It worked really well, yeah.
Right on. So in the intro to Enzo 2, I seen some Italian horror influence in just the way it was they were driving down a thing, and then the cards and everything. So are you guys into the Giallo Fulci kind of horror thing?
Yeah, we love Giallo. My favorite is Mario Bava.
Right. I've just recently got into this within the last year, and I've kind of went crazy with it.
Oh, yeah.
You can
There's
see
hundreds of movies.
Zombie painting.
Nice.
It's Giallo January right now.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that was a thing. Look at that.
It's a thing in LA. Yeah.
Yeah, and I noticed in the blood what's it? Blood of the Tribades?
Yeah.
The rose across the eye thing. I was like, oh man, I literally jumped. I was like, oh god. And I was like, yeah, it's definitely a Fulci. Fulci would be proud of that for sure.
Yeah, for sure. It's one of our bigger filmmaking influences is Giallo for sure.
Yeah.
And I just one day in the middle of the night, I was I just woke up and I was like, Michael, let's have all the opening titles in Italian. Just it'll feel more real because when you're watching a French or Italian movie, it just sets it up for you that it's
something weird.
Something weird is happening. Something, it's just to fake it like we were doing. It added the authenticity to it, I thought.
And also, it's this idea that it's the movie's restored from various prints and there's not a lot left. So somebody found this Italian print of it. And sorry, our lights keep flickering. It's something about the internet. But it was just it's kind of a funny joke to us to just put the titles in Italian.
And we had found all this old footage that somebody filmed out of their car in the 60s. And so we bought that for $500. It was just 10 minutes of driving footage. So we're and then we had to find a car that kind of matched the front of that car that they filmed out of. Yeah. So just the combination of the titles and this old footage that we found, and then trying to make it so it worked with the rest of what we shot.
Yeah, it definitely looked like the start of many Fulci films.
Yeah.
Yeah, the long drive. Yeah, is it The Beyond or one of the other ones from The Beyond?
I don't know.
Where it starts with the long drive with the priest, and it might be this one of the
City of the Living Dead, maybe.
Yeah, it's
it's in a lot of them.
It's in all of them. Yeah, it's The Shining. Yeah, everything.
I just watched The Shining used it too. Yeah, and probably Shining for same reasons. But what was the one I just watched the other? It used to be called One on Top of the Other, I think is what it. But on Blu-ray, it's called Perversion Story.
Oh yeah, Perversion. Yeah,
as well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, Bill, you were in. I seen that you were in Carlito's Way.
I was.
Yeah.
I was an extra in Carlito's Way, but they gave me special business, and so if you see the movie, there are a lot of people who saw the movie. Well, several who came up to me and said, "I didn't know you were in Carlito's Way," and there was no way they could know because I'm not billed or anything like that. But you definitely will recognize me if you see the movie now. Have you seen that movie, Carlito's Way?
Oh, a million times. I love Al Pacino.
Okay. I
think I know where you are in the movie. I mean, I know because I heard it on a podcast.
Oh, you did.
Right? I knew you were in the movie, but I think I remember you in the movie.
There's one of these.
But I had a chance to go back and look at it.
There's a patented Brian De Palma tracking shot, a long shot, right? And it starts on a patio, and Sean Penn has given a garden party at his estate for a bunch of coke dealers, I think. I certainly seem to be playing a coke dealer, and I come boogieing up to they play rock music and boogieing, and I sort of do a little dance with Sean Penn's African American mistress, and then you definitely see who I am, and there's a big shot. And
I think I know that part, and I think I remember you. Well, I don't remember you because I didn't know who you were when I watched it, but
Right.
I'm putting 2 and 2 together and getting 4.
And then it goes past the swimming pool and all the way down the hill, and there's Pacino at the bottom.
Yep.
Right.
And he's like sitting there talking to the girl Stephanie.
Right. So we shot that. It was a very complicated shot, obviously, because everything had to be coordinated and choreographed because there were lots and lots of people in the pool, and there were things going on in the pool. But it started with me. And the tracking shot goes down by the pool, and so we had to do it many times, and it took 2 days to shoot. So I've always had a bit of resentment at SAG, the Actors Union, because there used to be 3 categories for extras. One was background, or whatever they call it. Second one was special business, and the third was day player. Okay. They cut out special business so that they would have more filming in New York City. And I would have gotten a lot more money if that category had still been. But I had to settle for round. But I love making that movie, and I love the movie. And believe me, I haven't done much extra work. Some of the extra work I've done is in movies that I detest. And I can tell you right now, I haven't done that much, but every movie that I've done extra work in, I knew when I was doing the extra work whether the movie was going to be good or not. And I was right on the money every time. You might not agree with me, but Batman Forever, is that? Oh, I knew. I hid in the crowd because I knew it was going to be a turkey, and it was.
It was
and
not good.
Everybody on that set hated each other. Not everybody. I don't know about Val Kilmer and Nicole Kidman, but I know that Tommy Lee Jones, Joel Schumacher, and
that was a bad one.
They couldn't even look at each other. It was like, what a terrible, terrible vibe. And the other one was 2 Weeks Notice with Sandra Bullock and Hugh Grant. Now, the craft services, the food was the worst. I knew that movie was going to suck because the craft services were so terrible.
My buddy JP Cross says you were. I don't know if this is if he misspelled something here, but he says Bill is in one of my good friend's upcoming movies, Killer Cox.
Killer Cox, yeah. Well,
that's the thing. Okay, I thought maybe it was supposed to be Crocs. I don't know. I know.
It's Killer Cox, and they mean you to get it wrong, to get the meaning wrong. It's about killer chickens, but you know what they want.
Okay.
Well, I mean, this is the show where last week.
I haven't finished my 2 Weeks Notice story. So I had a friend who was the extra handler. You know, he handled the extras. He worked for SAG, and he was a friend of mine. So I said, I hear the press says that Sandra Bullock and Hugh Grant are having a thing. He said, "Are you kidding? She can't fucking stand him." from everything I heard, she's a really nice person and he's an asshole. But that's what I've heard. I don't subscribe to it necessarily, but that's everything I've heard says that.
Right on. So what else we got here? So I watched Clickbait earlier. I told you we talked about that. So we had you were the Sophia the cinematographer for Still, right?
Yeah. Did you have Rakefet on?
Yeah, we had her on before. That's another way I heard about this movie.
Yeah.
Because I was looking through the credits for that, and then like that, and I was like, oh, that's crazy. Yeah, we had her on. She was pretty awesome. What else?
Ryan, you're sideways.
Oh, that happens from time to time.
Gravity is he in the space, the ISS? You're in the space station or something?
Yeah. He goes on his phone, and once the last couple weeks it's been doing that where it'll just randomly flip him in the middle of the thing.
It was exciting. I liked it. I just
So Bill, you have a movie coming up called Our Man Funk.
Yeah, and it's directed by AJ Cutler, who the AJ from Once and Future Smash.
The director? See, I seen Michael's name on it somewhere, and I just assumed you were directing
it. He's directing it. Michael is in it.
Okay.
Neil Jones, the guy we were talking about before, and I'm playing
the producer.
I think it's going to be awesome. It's a great premise, and we're hoping to shoot. We're shooting it in April. And we're
a link on the page for the Indiegogo. Hopefully, some people will donate something. I'm going to donate to it. And,
great. Yeah, do. I mean, I think everybody that joins that movie is going to be happy they did because I really think it's going to be a really good film. And AJ is, wow, we talk about him being a natural actor. He's like an amazing coordinator, a director, puts everything together. I'm really in awe of this guy. I know Michael and Sophia know what I'm talking about. Yeah,
that's all well and good, but how's the craft service going to be?
Depends on how that Indiegogo does.
It's how much money? How much money is that Indiegogo?
I like that answer.
So we're gonna have to help out with that. And anybody that does make a donation to that, if you send me a screenshot that you donated to it, we will give you some cool autographed, awesome horror memorabilia from around the horror cave here.
Wow! Thank you, Rick.
I know with that a couple other movies it didn't go so well, so hopefully these guys actually come. I got like 8 autographs from Kane Hodder, so I tried to get rid of one of them.
I'm in a movie called Abandoned in the Dark. No, Abandoned in the something or other. Abandoned in the. Is it dark?
I don't know.
There's another movie. There was a movie called Abandoned in the Dark. I think that was based on a video game. Is that? Am I
Alone
right?
in the Dark? Are you talking about Alone in the Dark?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
This
the one.
is called Abandoned in the Dark, and Kane Hodder is in it, and I'm in it. I don't think I
Abandoned in the Dark. Yeah. I just looked it up.
That's what I'm doing. Okay, you beat me to it. Abandoned in the Dark. Okay, you got it right. Yeah, there's a video game called Alone in the Dark, like JP said.
Oh, okay. I was mixed up about that. I thought that was the. I wasn't sure what the title of the movie was. Anyway, Kane was in that. I didn't get to meet him because we were on different completely shooting schedules. But he got a huge top billing, and he has almost nothing to do.
It's Kane Hodder. He's pretty famous.
Yes, more than I do. Okay. Yeah.
Right on.
Michael and I met on a film that was in Boston, right?
Yeah.
The Ungovernable Force, which
Ungovernable Force. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, that's how we met. And I was amazed later that Michael had even remembered me. I was like there for a couple of days, and I shot.
You're an unforgettable kind of guy.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna forget.
It was formative, yeah.
It was formative, yeah.
I'm just too charismatic for words.
Yeah. I was a cam op on that movie, and I remember talking to you quite a bit on set. I mean, I don't.
I remembered you. I just was like, I was meeting so many people that weekend. It was
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Well, it was a massive cast and crew. It was a really large scale kind of punk rock movie with,
it was.
you know, lots of people working for free, like 50 people on set many times, you know, very limited catering.
Well, you know, it's indie filmmaking. You know, it's a low budget, doing the best you can.
It was great. It was a really great fun time, and the guys who do that are great. And I was really delighted to meet Bill, and I was glad that we were able to stay in touch and then do something else.
Yeah, that was like, and then I'm out in LA, and I was helping write the script for this movie, Special Needs Revolt, and I was out there and shooting a series, which was on Sony, and Michael and Sophia came over, and we talked about what did we talk about that day?
I think at that point we were talking about maybe helping to shoot Special Needs Revolt.
Oh, that's right.
Didn't end up happening. Yeah, didn't end up happening. But that was fine. I mean, but yeah. So we were talking about that, and then just kind of. And
that movie is coming out. That movie was completed and is coming out too. Called Special Needs Revolt.
So I seen recently it was your wife's birthday was the other day, and you kept posting about her age. And you kept talking about how this woman's 90 years old. And I'm like, there's no way. She's got to be 70. And he's calling her 90. I said, his wife is going to kill him for putting this out there like this. And then I looked him up because I'm like, well, how old's Bill? I see you're 84.
I'm 84.
You're the youngest 84-year-old in history.
And when I met her, which was in 91, when she had just had her birthday. And we met in January. And she had just turned 55, I guess, at that point. She was born in 35, so she was in 1991. She had just turned 56, right? And I was at that point 50, and I met her. And I said, "Oh, I really like her, but she's way too young for me." Because she looked way too young.
Yeah, absolutely.
Still does look younger than me. And I don't look that old, as you just pointed out.
No, you don't. And you don't act like you guys act really young and live young and probably feel young. That's great.
I act about 4 years old, which was what led me to suggest that scene we were talking about in the ones in Future Smash.
Like, what other 80-year-old's going to do that? It's not going to happen.
Yeah. In the original script, I think the original script I had written that he was in his underwear, like flexing at the mirror, you know, because he just kind of pumped himself up. And Bill was like, "Can I do it fully nude?" And we're like, "Yeah, of course." Like, definitely.
The funny thing, Sophia didn't know that, and she shot. Well, what happened there? You shot, and you didn't get my.
Yeah, well, you had told us in advance you wanted to do that, but I didn't realize it was in that scene for some reason. And so I was filming Bill's face in the mirror, so shots like this.
Did you get it? No, she didn't get it. What happened?
Yeah, to reshoot it to get the money shot.
Sitting in the hotel room. Yeah, and so like I filmed it, and like we shoot the shot, and I was like, okay, cool, we're good. And Mike and AJ and our other camera Matt was like,
I was like, "Did you get that?"
And I was like, "Yeah, it was fine. It was good." And then like Mike is like, "Did you really?" And then I looked down and I was like, "Oh no, I didn't get it."
Because I kind of saw the frame, and I'm like, "I don't think you filmed that. I don't think you got one."
I had to switch lenses, and we had to do it again. Yeah. But
it's awesome.
I don't know how I feel now that I know that there was more than one take of that.
Oh, yeah.
Only two,
and only because I missed it. But like, you know, when I'm looking at the camera, all I can see is just like what's in the camera.
Right.
You know, like I don't have any peripheral. So.
And that started a trend in. I'm now new in 4 or 5 movies, and because
it's beautiful.
I think it's in Bill
It's so great
now.
that you do that.
and I made this movie for Trauma during the summer called The Power of Positive Murder, which is going to be real. I think it's going to be Trauma's best movie. It's like a film shot in black and white. It's really good. So I was sitting at lunch at craft services with Debbie Rochon, who you probably know. And
yeah, the name's familiar. I know her from something.
And Adam Peltier, who plays the lead and is a wonderful actor. He's going to be in the Arm and Funk also. I was sitting at lunch with them, and we're talking about all these nude scenes. They said, "You got to be nude in this movie," and there's this
You got to do it for us.
place where you can be nude, and you should be nude again. And I said, "Yeah, but will Lloyd Kaufman go for it?" And they said,
"Oh, of course he will."
He said, "Yeah, do it." So there I am again.
Oh, nice. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's exciting. I will say we did a lot of festivals with the Once a Future Smash, and that scene always got a lot of reaction, and various kinds of reactions.
I have no doubt.
It's great. It's great.
It definitely woke people up.
A lot of applause.
If people were quiet, it woke them up. You know?
Yeah. Like I said, you're the youngest person I've ever met that's north of 80 years old. It just amazes me. You got the long hair. I mean, you actually look like my dad's age. Like you grew up in the 70s hippie, but like you're 30 years older or 20 years older than him.
The funny thing is that when the hippies were in flower, I was in a straight job, so I didn't have the long hair.
I'm sure a lot of guys probably jealous of that. That's for sure.
Yeah, they are, and they profess not to be, but they are.
He says that's going to be Lloyd's second to last movie ever.
No, I think he's saying second last because he said Shitstorm was going to be his last, right?
He said the show was his last movie, but then he decided. They sent me a script. They said, "What part do you want to play?" And Lloyd has taken like 3 parts that I wanted to play in other trauma movies, and I said, "Oh, I want to play this part," and they said, "Oh, Lloyd's doing that one." So I took another part. Actually, I like the part that I got. I think better than the one that Lloyd has.
So, Michael and Sophia, are you guys working on anything coming up soon that you want to talk about?
Yeah, I mean, we have a couple, because it's been a while since we've put out one of our own features. So I work as a cinematographer, so I shot a lot last year that are slowly coming out. So one of the features I shot is called Craving. It's on Tubi. And I shot House of Ashes, which is at Fest now, and The Mystery of Emma Thorne, which stars Lynn Lowry. And that'll be coming probably this year. But Mike and I, we've got a couple features on the block that we want to get shot this year. So probably one a little bit quicker than the second one, hopefully. But we
haven't publicly announced anything yet, but we should have. If it's always hard to things. Coordination of things is tricky, so it's right. we don't want to like announce things before they're actually in full motion.
Well, I've done that so much, and I'll look back at old interviews, and it's like a movie title that like I barely remember.
Yeah, you're
because
like, oh yeah,
didn't get off the ground. So I'm keeping these close to the vest until we're actually like.
But I think these 2 movies will get made this year.
Yeah.
And then we're working on lots of other people's stuff. You've got a couple projects coming up. I'm going to be in Our Man Funk. I'm really excited about that. We're going to help Neil, who we've talked about extensively now, is directing a film called Arbor Day that we're going to help him shoot as well.
Arbor Day?
Arbor Day. It's like a horror movie about trees.
The Bloody Essentials. They were talking about that on their show. Like, there's no Arbor Day horror movie. We need
now
that.
There will be, yeah.
Coming.
And now you're going to deliver.
Now
That's amazing.
They're doing that. Yeah. So lots of projects coming up. Undoubtedly it'll be a busy year. But yeah, nothing. I don't know. There's anything we're ready to say specifically.
Yeah.
So I just got an idea.
Go ahead.
Flag Day, and then that can tie back in Vietnam because they get buried with the flag.
Yeah.
There you
go.
go.
It's good. It's solid. Yeah. There are a lot of good holiday potentials.
I will say like the Vietnam thing and the ones it was like a one joke. And then I found it so funny because like I really do feel like almost every movie from the 70s in some way is referencing it. And so I was just like, we just need to keep mentioning it. And then it just got out of hand. Like everything with us, it just like it's a train that cannot be stopped. It just gets out of hand.
And then we saw, I can't remember. I mean, Savini always talks about it, but like there was a documentary where they had Savini on and they started asking him stuff. He's like, yeah, it's all about Vietnam. And he doesn't seem as like our, like, I mean, he's serious, but same as our kind of joke about it. So I'm like, yeah, all this is, everything we did is just real. It's just all true.
It's like, I seen after I watched one of your movies and like it just plays to the next thing on YouTube. It played you guys were on a red carpet somewhere and you were being asked about the film, and you guys are selling it like it's 100% real.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like,
It was probably
yeah,
for the Fright
it's
Fest.
so
That was
great.
Fright
when you
Fest,
did
yeah.
this.
For the first fest and our first round of press, we were like keeping it very real. Like the K-Fabi was on, and it was very hard to do at first because we went to the UK. So Fright Fest is a big genre fest in the UK, and we went there and they set us up with all these press outlets. And so like the guys are like they're doing mental gymnastics, like being like, well, Michael and Bill are actors, but so they're acting as those people, but all this stuff really happened, and End Zone 2 is real, right? And we're just like, yeah. And then like later they found out and they were kind of mad at us. But initially people were buying it, which I love.
Well, especially for those early screenings, we wanted people to go in blind and just have an
I feel like
experience
it's a
of
real
like
documentary.
unwrapping it.
Me the whole time, I'm like,
yeah,
hearing all this. What is this movie about? And then
Yeah,
nobody's
exactly.
telling me, and like I'm just going crazy. And I'm like, I have to find this movie.
Yeah.
It was a mission for me.
right.
Well,
Yeah, so we want the experience. We want it to be more than just like here, watch some movies. It's more like unwrapping an experience. So that's why it's not to trick people or be mean.
Yeah.
It's not to be like we got you. It's
Hopefully
really just to
all
create a fun
within the
fun.
experience, yeah. But we
Even if
got
it was,
into-
I'd still think it's
No, it was so fun, and we really loved it. And one more thing, like you guys are in LA. Were you guys affected by the wildfires out there? How did that go for you? We have a link in the thing. Donate to help those affected by the wildfires by texting. It's in there. Look at it, and
Nice, yeah.
But
I mean, we were evacuated
guys-
for like 6 hours, but luckily our area was fairly unaffected. But we have a lot of friends that were, lost houses and were affected.
Yeah.
Like pretty much, I'd say anybody in LA at this point knows somebody that lost a house.
Yeah.
So
I was at a hockey game with my son Ricky, who's he's autistic, and he met Adam Marcus. It was this whole thing. It's like, maybe I'll tell you about it like later when we got more time. But he tells everybody Adam Marcus is like one of his best friends, and like I'm going scrolling through my phone, and he's seeing all the fires, all the 'cause I'm sitting there before the hockey game starts, and he goes, "What's going on with that?" So I tell him, "Well, LA is pretty much on fire, the whole place." And he goes, "Oh my God, Adam Marcus lives there." It's like, can you text him and see if he's okay? And I did, and he responded right away, and he really appreciated that. But yeah, it's just got to be I couldn't even imagine just looking out your door and just seeing all this fire. It's just got to be the scariest thing.
Melanie's posted photos from her house. She can see.
Yeah,
we live. I don't know exactly what where her address is or anything, but we live relatively close to her. I think she's in West Hollywood or something. Yeah. And so we especially the two giant fires are a little bit like on the sort of outskirts of the city.
Yeah, they're kind of on the edge.
They're visible in this. One of them was like visible on the edge of the sky, but they're pretty far. Like they're not really in. We're not in danger of those. But there was one fire that broke out in West Hollywood in a park, and that was the one that I think Melanie said she was evacuated as well.
Yeah,
so we all were evacuated briefly for that, but they were able to get that one under control. Like, thankfully, that one didn't burn any houses or anything. But yeah, the ones on the outside, on the sort of edges of the city, are just really insane.
It's
definitely scary. But so we usually go for an hour. We've been going for a little over an hour, and I'm gonna want to wrap things up, but I want to thank you guys for taking the time to come on, and thank you again for the Blu-ray. And hey, his did the thing too, like yours did with the fireworks.
I was like, how did you do that?
He's on an iPhone, that's why.
Okay. I was like, where's my fireworks?
Why doesn't everybody tell everybody watching where they can follow you on socials and everything?
Oh yeah.
Okay. You can follow me on Facebook as Bill Weeden, and Instagram as Billy Weeds, BILLYWEEDS. And I guess you can find me on TikTok, though I'm never on there. But I mean, I guess you can find me.
Wait till after Sunday and see if it still exists. Yeah.
Right.
This I don't know what's going to happen to that.
I will say that one of the best ways to support the Once a Future Smash and us in general is to buy a Blu-ray.
So where do I order a Blu-ray?
Yeah, so our website is called our production company website is called Launchover. So shop.launchover.com or Launchover, or just Google it. It should take you there. But Once a Future Smash and End Zone 2 are on various platforms, so check it out. And our older work as well that you sought out. And we're just our names on social media.
Yeah, I'm at Michael J. Epstein pretty much everywhere. You're at Sophia Cacciolla. But yeah, and there are other places to watch Once a Future Smash and End Zone 2. And we're happy for you to check it out anywhere you can. And we always appreciate
it's definitely worth it since I have the Blu-ray. There's a lot of work that went into the Bluray that's worth having.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should have brought one over.
And things.
Yeah, we did a lot of
the Blu-ray is where you can see my junk. So come on.
There's that too. That's a selling point. Are your other films also on there to purchase?
We have like some remaining copies of a few of them. Like I think there's like some Blood of the Tribades, and we have End Zone 2 is out on VHS, and we still have like 20 or so VHS. And Michael published the End Zone 2 novelization. So
I didn't publish it.
Well, you're the publisher. Launchover's the publisher.
Yeah.
So I'm going to order another copy of the Once a Future Smash to give away to our listeners on the show, and I'm gonna get one of those what's it called? The vampire movie, the Blood, whatever.
Blood of the Tribades,
and maybe some other stuff too.
Oh, thank
I'll
you.
definitely place that order real soon. And thank you guys again for coming on. Oh, the dogs are finally making noises.
That's all right.
But thanks so much for coming on, taking the time, and really enjoyed having you. We really enjoyed the film, and like I said, we're gonna try to get some money raised for our man Funk, and I'll order a couple of these Blu-rays. But thanks guys for coming on. You guys out of here, and then we're gonna wrap this up. All right.
Thanks so much for having us. Really, really fun. Great to talk to both of you, and we appreciate it. Yeah.
Awesome. Take it easy, guys. Take it easy, Bill.
So long.
All right. All right, man. That was freaking awesome, man.
Oh yeah.
All right. Tiki says you'll have to order that tape.
Of course,
definitely have
talking tapes.
Right on. So that was really cool, man. Those guys are freaking awesome, man. That was a good time. Went a lot better than I thought it would, to be honest. I was kind of nervous about having the 3 guests and keeping everybody I don't want to say entertained. What's it called when you're focused on something?
Engaged.
That's the word I'm looking for. Keeping everybody engaged the whole time. And I don't know if I did a good job, but I kind of feel like
fine, man. I'm just here with stuffy nose, so
yeah. So it definitely went good. I definitely enjoyed that. So next week, we're gonna talk about next week. What we're gonna do?
Yeah, we might as well cover a couple little things before we clear out of here.
Yeah.
2 legends died today that I know of.
Yeah.
Hopefully no more since we went on the air. First, R.I.P. to Bob Uecker, who's a big baseball guy. That one sad, although he lived to be 90.
And since we have a lot of Cleveland guys in the room, you'll know him from Major League, of course.
Yep, his broadcaster for the Milwaukee Brewers for over 50 years.
Was still working as recently as last baseball season.
Yep. They showed a video at the Brewers Stadium. It's a statue of him. People bringing 6-packs of the light beer there and put it there because he's
got a statue. That's awesome.
Because he used to be the spokesman for light beer back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
He was also one of the funniest sports figures ever.
Yeah. Right on. So we got that happened, and then you have
and of course this one's more relevant to this show. David Lynch also passed away today. I believe 78 years old.
Young, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, when you got guys like Uecker living to 90, you got Bill Weeden 84 and got more energy than we do. I mean, 78, you said?
Yeah, I think he was 78.
That just seems really young. So, but for the David Lynch thing, we are going to do a tribute show to him next week. Not sure how it's going to go or what's going to go. You're much more versed with his work than I am.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do some cramming this week and check out some of his films. I
think the only true horror film he did is Eraserhead, but a lot of it's horror adjacent.
Horror adjacent, like like I imagine like Twilight Zone-ish, maybe, not really.
A little darker.
A little darker. Okay.
Elephant Man's fucking dark, man.
Yeah, so we're gonna check that out. I'm gonna check that out, and probably the way it'll go is I'll just be interviewing Ryan about David Lynch's career, and we'll see how that goes.
If any of our listeners are big like David Lynch people, let us know and come on with us.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we could definitely have other people on. We've had people that were in one of his movies on here, so we'll see how that we'll see how that goes. But that's the plan for next week, since we don't have any guests lined up for next week, unless yeah. So we're gonna do that, and
we did, didn't we?
What's that?
We did have someone from one of his.
We did, Christian Calloway.
Oh yeah,
yeah, he was in Twin Peaks. Yeah. And if we had anybody else, I don't know, we could have, but I don't know any of his work. So I think isn't there one movie I know of his?
I would think Blue Velvet would be the one if you did.
I know about it, but I've never seen it.
Yeah.
So I wonder if I've ever seen any of his films. Let's see. Have I seen any of David Lynch's films?
Well, the full-length ones, I think in order, are Eraserhead, Elephant Man, Blue Velvet, Wild at Heart.
And this is why he's in the fucking library. I don't even got to look this up.
Mulholland Drive, Lost Highway. Crap, I forget that one he did around like 2003 or 4. He didn't do a lot of like feature-length films. He did a lot of shorts. He did some.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of shorts and videos.
And then,
he worked with 9 Inch Nails.
Oh yeah, and then the whole Twin Peaks universe too. But that's mostly a TV show. But there's also films.
Yeah, two movies, at least 2 movies, right?
Yes, Fire Walk with Me, and then they did
the more recent one, right?
Yeah, and I think it was like a Netflix thing or something, like maybe 10 years ago.
He did a video called "Working with Marilyn Manson," which stands to reason he worked with Marilyn Manson.
Marilyn Manson appeared. Marilyn Manson appeared in Lost Highway. So did
he was on the soundtrack, right?
Yeah. So was Twiggy from Marilyn Manson at the time before he was canceled. That was 1997. Was Lost Highway. There's people that are like hot and cold on that one, but I love Lost Highway, man. But that came out when I was in high school. It has that 90s feel. It's the only David Lynch movie that has a David Lynch movie feel and a 90s feel, and those are 2 things I really like, and I thought they meshed very well together. And I think Robert Blake's performance in that, again, another guy who got canceled, and rightfully so, was just so fucking haunting in that. Oh, and Robert Loggia. You can't forget.
Dune.
Yeah, Dune as well. That's right.
Yeah. Yeah, but you got
might be my least favorite David Lynch movie, but it's still good.
That might be why it was the only one that you didn't mention when you were naming all this.
Yeah.
You got all the other ones. Oh, here's another one you missed. King of Ads. I don't know what it is, but it was an hour and 14 minutes. So I don't know if it was like a theatrical release, because I don't think it can be at that length, right? It's only 74 minutes. I thought you need at least 80 or 90 for a theatrical release.
Who's in that?
Let's see. The King of Ads. It's a 91 film, and there's only 3 people listed as the cast, so this must be some weird.
Yeah.
There's 49 different directors, so he was. He directed some little minuscule part of it.
Yeah.
As one of them things. Okay.
He has one into each his own cinema too, but that's like a amalgamation of like a bunch of filmmakers.
Right. Okay. And there's another film that you didn't mention, but it's also the same thing. This is called Lumiere and Company, but that also has 40 directors. So, at an hour long, what do they do? Direct like 1 or 2 minutes each.
Something like that. A bunch of shorts put together.
It'll be interesting to talk about it and talk about his career. He's definitely a legend in the business, and definitely well respected. And I will get to a couple of those films this week, and we'll talk about them next week. And I know a lot of horror fans are definitely fans of his, so it'll be cool to talk with them about this.
I don't know where I will be on that day. I could be home. I could be anywhere.
Could be broadcasting from a hospital bed if this doesn't get any better. Jesus Christ.
No. I'm on the upswing.
That's good.
No, just that a week from today, that Thursday, is my birthday.
Yes, it is.
So I might hop in the car and decide to take a trip, but from 7 to 8, 8:30, whatever, I'll be on, no matter where I'm at.
Okay, well, if that's your birthday and you have something to do, we could record a day before, day sooner, or whatever. Doesn't matter.
I'll do it live.
Okay, awesome. Well, that sounds good. So, anything else you want to talk about today before we get the hell out of here and go check out Charles Sherrod and or the what's JP's thing? What is Cine Nerds?
Cine Nerds.
I'm going to do a little bit of both of those. They're ranking B movies tonight. That sounds fun. B's, not just B movies, sci-fi B movies.
Oh.
So this is going to be a fucking JP Cross show if there ever was one.
Yeah, I'm surprised Tiki isn't already in there.
So yeah, you could definitely check that out. It's probably up on iTunes already, but it definitely will be up there by tomorrow morning. But anything you wanted to add tonight before we got the hell out of here?
No, not today, man. I'm just glad we got through today. Me feeling like, and hopefully by next week I'm back to myself.
Awesome.
So, thanks everybody for tuning in. Thanks to our guest tonight. Everybody stay safe out there, especially here in this Cleveland area. The storms are fucking brutal, and there's a salt shortage.
Of course there is.
Yeah. So with that said, we'll see everybody next week, and there goes the neighborhood.
What can I do when I'm stuck inside you?